My dear friends, today is July 3rd, and we're celebrating the solemnity of St. Thomas the Apostle. It is very important to think sometimes why Thomas is called the doubting Thomas in the church. Well, I am quite not agreeable to this title we give to St. Thomas because all the disciples doubted. The first ones to see the risen Lord were the women who went to the tomb. In fact, they were the ones to report that he is not there, his body is missing. And Mary Magdalene witnessed the risen Lord. This message was passed on to the apostles. They didn't believe these women. They came to verify. They went and told the others. Even then, others were not willing to believe. Two of them on their way to Emmaus met the Lord, and then they believed. And when Jesus came and stood amidst them, they were frightened that he was a ghost. They couldn't believe it was him, but later they believed. So in all these circumstances, Thomas was not there. Thomas was the only one who missed out the apparition of the Lord after his rising from the dead. So naturally, Thomas also disbelieved because he did not see the risen Lord. Now the question is it necessary for me to see the risen Lord that I should believe? Well, there are so many doubting Thomases, if the title fits so, in this present world. Because unless we see, unless we experience, unless we can have that miraculous touch of the Lord, or see the wounds that the nails have made and the spear has made, we are not willing to believe. That was what St. Thomas said. And that's what most of us say. But there is a positive quality in St. Thomas. You know what? St. Thomas, once he saw that, he made the greatest profession of faith. He called Jesus my Lord and my God, directly acclaiming the divinity of Jesus, because he understood that Jesus is not a silly guy to be messed with. He is truly the God. Because he has defeated the cross, he has defeated everything that stood as a hurdle on his way, and here he is present. And exact demands of Thomas were met. Look, put your hands into the holes that the spear has made. See them. And once Thomas sees, there is nothing that was holding back his faith. And this man was later even willing to die for the faith that he once professed. Now, my dear friends, let's also look into our lives. How many times the Lord has touched us? How many times the Lord has had miraculous interventions in our lives? How many times the Lord has proved that He is God in our lives? Well, is our faith as strong as that of Thomas, or as shallow as any other people, maybe the Jewish people who were there? You need to think about it. So this solemnity of St. Thomas the Apostle is not just about reflecting on the doubting Thomas, but it's all the more about reflecting on how shallow and doubtful we are when the Lord comes very powerfully into our lives. I think we need to look at that aspect of our spiritual life. Therefore, let this celebration of the solemnity of St. Thomas be a time for us to deepen our faith, not go around with shallow faith, not go around with fickle-minded faith, but with deep faith in the Lord, to profess that faith and to live for that faith, as St. Thomas the Apostle did. Because anyone can falter, anyone can have a weak moment. But let us not say every moment is weak for us. Think about it. May God be blessed. Amen.